What is good, everybody? Welcome to the Voice of the People. My name is Surly M.
And I'm Youngblood.
Thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. I almost said Tuesday. That was our old time.
That was the old time.
We've been kicking it since the new semester right here on 88.9 FM KAGJ at our new time slot. We're going to be here with you until 2 in the afternoon, so stick around. We're going to have a lot of fun and play some good music and make fun of Youngblood.
Oh, well, usually it's the other way around. I think we pick on you more.
Well, I just have a better attitude about it. Anyway, how was your week?
It was good. Trying to think if I had any good date stories.
Yeah, did you go on more dates?
No, I didn't, but... Oh, I went to Vegas. That's right.
That's right. Had the President's Day weekend, a long weekend. I just went home. It was very boring. But you had some adventures in good old Las Vegas.
That's right. Went to a George Strait concert. That was awesome. King of Country. Also...
Was it just him, or did he have anyone open?
Oh gosh, I can't remember her name. The opening act. Last name's Muskrat. I don't remember what her first name is.
Last name Muskrat. First name greatest.
Cassie Muskrat.
Cassie Muskrat.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, obviously she made a lasting impression on me.
You were just there for George Strait, though, right?
That's right. Also went to a UNLV baseball game.
Ooh.
Got to see my idol, Greg Maddox. He's the pitching coach there now. So that was pretty cool.
Very nice, very nice.
You know, they have this thing there called Ragin' Cane's.
You mean Ragin' Cajun?
No, it's called Ragin' Cane's. It's a little fast food restaurant. It's like an In-N-Out, but for chicken. So it's like a better Chick-fil-A.
Huh.
So you know, like when you go to In-N-Out, there's like 4 different options. Like there's double.
Well, yeah, theoretically they also have the secret
menu, right? Well, same concept applies here.
Okay.
So there was like 4 different options, but it's all about chicken strips and chicken sandwich.
I see. Would you say it's better than Chick-fil-A?
It was better. It was better than Chick-fil-A.
I really like Chick-fil-A.
I do too, but so that's saying a lot. But it was good. I guess it's a Vegas thing.
Did you go see Thunder Down Under?
Thunder Down Under? What? No.
You haven't checked that one out? You should next time.
Is that what is that?
You'll find out sooner or later.
I don't want to.
You'll find out sooner or later.
Thanks for embarrassing me.
I told you, this is what we're all about. You may have heard our very special guest here in the studio. We're going to have an interview with her a little bit later. Our good friend Natalie is on to talk about our topic, which is what? Youngblood?
Well,
maybe we should get into it right away.
Yeah, that's sure.
Or should we talk about my week first?
Well, let's talk about your week and we're going to get into it.
Nothing happened.
Did you harass Brittany for not coming on the show last week?
No, I think you fulfilled that role
I know.
In her life.
Well, if she, cared enough to call in, that'd be nice. She is an avid listener, so.
Yeah, she is. Literally I did nothing. Went home for President's Day. Piled out.
I saw a thing on Facebook. Your mom was complaining about you and your friends gaming or something.
Oh yeah, me and my friends, we get together whenever I go home, and we play video games in my basement, and we have a tendency to hoop and holler and make quite the ruckus. And it annoys my mom, but we have fun.
That's awesome. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah, not so bad.
All right, little follow-up real quick. Taco Bell still hasn't emailed me back. So
Come on,
I don't know what's going on there.
Fetch, man.
I even hit the checkbox that says, would you like a reply? And yes, I would like a reply, Taco Bell. So if you're hearing this, we want to hear the voice of the people. The people want to hear that there's going to be a Taco Bell in Ephraim.
Want the Taco Bell. You got to be persistent. Maybe send them a letter like every other day or something.
Okay, I'll try again. But anyway, let's get to our topic.
Right on.
So, I'm excited about this one. Today we're going to talk about the effects of Tinder.
Yes. Now, you're going to have to be our guiding hand through this one, because I've never used Tinder.
Okay.
I have friends who've used it. I'm aware of the concept. I've seen it used. but I'm just morally opposed to the whole idea. And we can get into that later, but the point is, you have a little more experience in the subject than me.
Right. Well, like 3 days worth, but yeah.
Yeah. As well as friends that we have more experience, and so we'll be bringing them on a little bit later, as I mentioned. But anyway,
That's right. We're gonna have guests on to talk about that.
for the uninitiated amongst our listeners, what is Tinder?
Tinder is
Besides the fire-starting material.
well, it's got a little flame on it. The app. It's a dating app,
Okay.
and basically what happens is you make a profile, get some pictures, and you can put like a radius of like how far you want it to expand, and like an age gap. So let's just say you do 50 miles here. So everyone 50 miles of you will you'll get pictures of the different people on Tinder, and you can either choose to swipe left for no, you're not interested, or swipe right for yes, you're interested in them, based on their appearance. You can look at their bio and the pictures they have posted on there.
Right.
Not the best form of dating, but it works.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll discuss it.
Anyway, if you match with someone, if you both swipe right on each other, there's a match, and then you can chat with one another on the app.
I see.
Thus, the Tinder begins.
And this has become very popular in the last, 6 months to a year.
Right.
And it hasn't been released very long.
No, not that I know of.
It's a fairly recent invention.
But it has worked for many people, and we are bringing some people on to talk about that.
Excellent. So there you have it, folks. We're going to be talking about Tinder a little bit today. If you have any experience, feel free to give us a call at 435-283-7007. If you have any wacky stories from you, or maybe some friends or roommates who have had weird interactions on Tinder, I know a couple of those stories myself. You can feel free to give us a call or text us. You can text KAGE to 66746. You'll be connected to our texting service. You can just tell us pretty much whatever you want, or you can use those lines to request a song. We're going to be playing a bit of music here for you.
That's right. But first, we'd like to introduce our guest before she has to leave because of conflicting class schedules.
Right on.
But we have a guest on the show today by the name of Natalie Atkinson. How are you, Natalie?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's good to have you back.
We've had her before. Glad you could be on again.
Awesome. And so, Natalie, what experience do you have with using the Tinder app?
So I got a Tinder about a year ago, but I absolutely hated it, so I deleted it.
Right.
But
Why did you hate it the first time?
because for some reason I didn't understand the concept of having that I would have to meet up with people.
Oh, darn.
Which is the only reason people get Tinder, I think. But I just wanted to do it for fun. But
Right.
Good old Youngblood convinced me to get a Tinder Sunday night.
Oh,
and
cool.
magic has already happened.
Already, huh? Could you elaborate a little bit? What new experiences have come from the second go-around?
All right. Do you want to hear the context of background info?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
yes, please. Yes.
So, it's my first semester at Snow, and I'm sitting in the library, and this kid walks up to me. I don't even know him. I've never seen him before, and he's like, "Do you want to go out?" And I was like, "Sure," scared out of my mind, but I said yes. And then the weekend we were supposed to go, I got food poisoning.
Ooh.
I literally got food poisoning. So I texted him and I was like, "Hey, I can't go. I'm feeling sick." And I was like, "Great, he's gonna think I'm lying," because that's like the number one thing people
Yeah,
say
that's
when they
the
want to get out of
packaged
it.
excuse. I'm not feeling well. Can't do it. Sorry.
And so, I never heard back from him. So I'm like, "Great, he probably hates me." Whatever. I move on, and then I get my Tinder Sunday night, and I'm swiping, and his picture comes up, and I'm like, well, he doesn't even go here anymore. So he like graduated. So I was like, I'm just gonna swipe right for fun. and then we ended up matching. And I wake up yesterday morning and he messaged me and was like, "I'm in Ephraim today."
What?
I know, it was fate. And so he was like, "You want to do something?"
Where does he live currently?
He goes to Utah State now.
Oh, good for him.
So, anyway, he messages me. He asks me when I'm free. And we end up getting frozen yogurt, among other things.
Among
And,
other
yeah.
sweet treats.
Others, yeah.
Now, question for you, Natalie. How many dates have you been on this year here at Snow College? Not including Tinder, just like since August. How many dates have you been
Well, I
on?
mean,
Since August?
she probably doesn't
You
keep
already
track.
know that. Okay, literally one.
One. Okay. And already since getting Tinder in 3 days?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you got a point. It's helped me out. It's put me out of my comfort zone, which is a good
Uh-huh.
thing.
Right. So in 3 days, you've already received several matches with people and a date.
Yeah, you're right.
So, would you say you would endorse the use of Tinder?
You know,
No? Not a big fan?
maybe, I don't know, because this wasn't like a solely like Tinder date, because I knew him before.
Okay, yeah. You'd
So-
think it'd be a little different if it was just complete strangers?
Would you have known him? I mean, would you have had this opportunity to go out with him?
You're right. Yeah, I wouldn't have known he was in Ephraim if I didn't get that Tinder Sunday
Okay.
night. So
So
it did help me.
Yeah, kind of using it in an unintended way, but still, helping you get dates, which is, I guess, the sole reason of the app's existence. So, will you continue to use the app, do you think?
I don't know. It's
Not sure.
meeting up with people is so scary, but
Mhm.
it's
Yeah, I feel it.
it's a good thing. I would recommend trying it at least once.
Okay.
And I don't know.
You
But
always delete it.
yeah, you can always delete it and you can always get it back. But some people get married off this thing, so
Yeah, we'll probably discuss that a little bit later. Some of the success stories from
Yeah.
Tinder that we've heard.
Well, we're talking to one right now.
yes, you are.
All right. Natalie, would you say for those students at Snow College that it could be risky to use Tinder? Kind of a negative effect, or do you completely say that you're all for it?
The thing is, doing it in Ephraim, and you match with people you know from like Snow, you see them every day, and then it makes it awkward. But
Yeah, especially Snow College being such a small school, you end up
Exactly.
running into the same people.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but okay,
So you do run the risk there.
yeah. I'm gonna go out on a limb though, and I'm gonna say I do recommend it,
Okay.
and I would try it out if I were you. Okay.
You heard it
Awesome.
right here on the Voice of the People. Natalie Atkinson is endorsing Tinder.
There you go. Give it a shot. Awesome. We are going to take it to break real quick. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion about Tinder. Maybe Youngblood can share some of his personal experiences.
That's right. We want to thank Natalie for coming on the show, though. She has to attend classes here, but we want to thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. You guys are awesome. Favorite DJs in Ephraim, hands down.
We appreciate it. Natalie's a loyal fan. As always, if you want to hear a specific song or if you just want to comment on our discussion, you can give us a call, 425-283-7007, or text KAGE to 66746. But there are also other avenues you can reach us. What are those, Youngblood?
That's right. You can like us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. Go ahead and comment. Tell us some of your crazy Tinder stories. Tell us your experience with Tinder. We want to know what you're feeling and thinking about this subject. We want to know the effects of Tinder. We're going to take it a break, but when we come back, we will talk much more about the great app of Tinder.
You're listening to 88.9 FM, The Cage. And we're back here on 88.9 FM The Cage. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Voice of the People. I'm Sir Liam.
And I'm Youngblood.
Today, we're talking about Tinder.
That's right. The effects of Tinder, my
I
fellow
don't
Snow
know
College students.
why we're talking about Tinder, because I don't use it. You've used it like twice.
Right.
Why is this so important to us college students?
Well, I thought it was kind of an interesting phenomenon this for myself these last couple days because oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, because my friend Natalie and Morgan have both been complaining to me that they have not been getting dates. So I jokingly told them that they should get a Tinder, and the agreement was that they wouldn't get one unless I got one as well.
Oh, okay.
And so thus all three of us got one, and that's pretty much all we've been talking about the last 3 days. And so thought, why don't we bring it on the air?
Okay. Besides, your friends Natalie and Morgan, do you know other people who use it?
Yes, I know a lot of people.
A lot of people. I know, not necessarily personally, but I'm aware that people use it quite often here on Snow College. I think it's kind of a blessing and a curse that it's such a small school.
Right.
Because as Natalie mentioned, you have, a tight community. You have, a small, dense concentration of eligible people to date.
Right.
But you're not going to like all of them. You're not going to get along with all of them. So you end up seeing each other around.
Of course.
And that can create awkward situations. But Tinder can be helpful in, kind of weeding out the people you're interested in or not interested in. Maybe
it's true, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of it from what I've had from my short experience, but I'll tell you what, it's addicting.
It's addicting. How so?
Well, I mean, it's so easy to just quickly go through the people, just based on looks, which is so shallow. But you just swipe left, swipe right, swipe left, swipe right, swipe right. It's
swipe left.
Yeah,
I see what you mean.
It's so easy, and honestly, in a way, it's kind of entertaining because these are real people, and some of them are crazy, and so it makes you laugh.
Okay. Something you said right there was interesting. These are real people, right?
Right.
And I just think it's a commentary on our society, or an observation rather, that we're treating, each other, as objects, right? It's
right.
I don't like that one, don't like that one. No, that one's nice. And
yeah.
This is part of why I have a moral opposition to Tinder. I'm not arguing that the service doesn't work, or that it's not reliable. I think, dating, online dating in general is a good idea and it works for a lot of people. But it's just kind of an exercise in judging people.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Totally. I mean,
from what you've explained to me, the information you're given about said person, whatever person is brought up on your screen, is a picture and maybe a little 2 or 3 sentence bio about them.
Yeah.
And that's all the information you're given to say, I like this person or I do not like this person. Essentially, not are they a good person? We don't want to make that judgment. It's not what we're talking about. But am I attracted to this person just physically based on what I see in front of me?
Right.
And that just doesn't sit right with me. I don't like that idea.
I completely, for once, Sir Lamb, we agree.
It's a miracle.
I completely see your point. It's very shallow and judgmental. But with the experiences myself and my friends have had the last couple of days, it's interesting to see why people use it. There's so many people out there that are just using exactly what you're saying. They just want to hook up. They're not really in it to date seriously. There are people on there who I'm sure have good intentions, but from what I've noticed so far, the intentions of people aren't the greatest.
Mm-hmm. But to get a better sense of the user base of Tinder, we're going to bring on another guest here shortly. You might have heard her on the show before, Miss Morgan, a good friend of ours.
Morgan Whittier.
She's, as you mentioned, she got a Tinder recently, and already she's had some interesting experiences. So we're going to bring her on right in a little bit, in the next few minutes. We're going to kick it to break, but when we come back, Morgan Whittier to give her thoughts on Tinder. You're listening to The Voice of the People with Sir Liam
and Youngblood right here on 88.9 FM The Cage.
Some people call me the space cowboy.
And we're back here on 88.9 FM The Cage. Thank you so much for joining us. You're listening to The Voice of the People. I'm Sir Liam.
And I'm Youngblood.
Your hosts. And we got a very special guest right here in the studio with us, Morgan. Say hi, Morgan.
Hey guys, how are you? I guess you can't answer, never mind.
Oh, we're doing great.
We're doing good.
I'm sure the listeners are doing fine as well. Anyway, we've been talking about Tinder today, isn't that correct?
That's correct, my friend, Sir Liam.
Right on. And you were explaining that you and Morgan here had a little agreement as far as the usage of the app goes. Is that correct as
That's
well?
correct. My friend Morgan Whittier here is a student at Snow College. And myself, her, and Natalie are all good friends. And kind of tell us how your dating experience prior to Tinder has gone this last semester.
This last semester, I'll be honest, it's been a little dry. Hasn't been much going on. The last time I went on a date was back in like August, so
Oh, wow.
I thought that maybe Tinder would give me some more opportunities.
So it was like an act of desperation, really.
Yeah, that makes me sound really desperate.
Hey, that's fine. You know, you gotta expand your options. One thing ain't working, try something else. I like that.
So what was the requirement? Tell our listeners what the requirement was for you to get a Tinder.
Okay, so we made a deal. Me, Braxton, and Natalie decided that if all three of us were to get a Tinder, that I would get a Tinder as well. So
Okay.
we convinced Natalie to get a Tinder. We convinced Braxton to get a Tinder, so then I ended up getting a Tinder too. And so that's the deal that we worked out.
Okay, right on. And so what's your experience been using the app thus far?
Well, it's been interesting, I'll tell you that.
Interesting in what way?
So far, I mean, I've made some friends, which is nice. There's been some weird friends too that have been on there, but
Okay.
yeah.
Can you expand a little bit? We've talked to our listeners about the matches. How many matches have you received since starting Tinder?
Okay, so I just counted this morning and I have 60 matches.
Oh, wow.
Crap.
So
Okay,
if
just
I'm
to get-
understanding correctly, 60 people saw Morgan's picture and was like, yes, that person. And Morgan also saw these people and was like, yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, just so I'm
Yeah, to
To
understanding.
give you an idea, I have had 3.
Oh, wow. Well, I think that says more about you than the app. Okay, well, that's awesome. Sounds like you're having a good amount of success so far.
Yeah,
Just in the few short days you've been using it.
yeah. It's been about 48 hours now, I think. So it's been good.
So, would you say, as a user of Tinder now, that you would recommend to other people who are in your same situation to use Tinder?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, sometimes I'm thinking I should just delete the app, but then there's times
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is kind of addicting. So
Yeah, you mentioned that. Youngblood used those exact words. He said it was addicting. That's interesting.
Yeah, why did you find it addicting, Morgan?
I don't know. It's like a game, swiping left or right.
This is precisely what Braxton or Youngblood said.
Yeah.
Wow, it sounds like a lot of people, well, at least, 2 people have the same mentality about it, that, it's very non-committal, right?
Yes, very.
No one's going to know if you swipe left or whatever.
Yes,
You're
that's
not
a good
really
thing.
hurting anyone's feelings. It's a very safe. You're just you and your phone looking at these pictures. You're not required necessarily to meet people.
Yes, exactly.
Very
And
non-committal. I think that's why people like it so much.
I definitely agree. And I do have to say, though, for Morgan, she's been a hit.
Yeah,
I mean,
from what I hear.
For someone who hasn't gone on a date since August, and now she has 60 matches, that's impressive. Morgan, why don't you tell us how some of these chats have gone with these 60 men?
So some of them have gone pretty good. There's been a couple that we've been having a great conversation. I don't ever initiate the conversation, so I just wait for them. But
Okay, let me interrupt real quick. Out of the 60 matches, how many of them have reached out to you to talk to you and actually like chat?
there's probably been about 10 of them.
Okay, that's 1/6. That's a good percentage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, some of them have been good conversations. Just been talking, making friends. I actually have a date.
Oh, okay. So
since
like
last night.
now we're gonna see like some actual fruits of
Yes.
these matches, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. When's this date planned for?
We don't know yet. We haven't discussed it that much yet, but it's gonna happen.
You're both interested in going out, sounds like.
Yes.
Well, awesome. Wow. Looks like we're having some success already.
Wow, you didn't tell me that. That's awesome.
And so,
Yeah, it
Morgan,
just happened last night. So
is this success like heartening in, you said your dating experience last semester was rather dry, so is this like a nice change of pace for you?
oh yeah, it's nice to have some options now. I mean, before I didn't really have friends either, so I mean it's nice to have friends too.
Really? Okay. Awesome. So sounds like you're a fan of the app so far, right?
So far, yeah. I do have some bad experiences though to tell you guys about.
Oh,
of
yeah?
the app, yes.
Okay, so
yes.
it's not all sunshine and daisies. It sounds like what's some the negative effects?
Without going too much into detail.
Okay. Some of the guys are just after like one thing on this app, so
We can guess what that is.
yeah.
We talked about that earlier in the show, that a lot of people want to use it as a hookup. Is this true?
Oh yes, that is definitely true.
Sounds like you've run into a few of these gentlemen.
Yeah, probably about the third of the 10 guys that have messaged me are just up for hookups. So
Interesting.
yeah.
So you got to be a little judicious.
Yes.
Sounds like. And I
Yes.
guess it depends what you're looking for. If you're really into the hookup scene, I guess Tinder is just your cup of tea.
Yes,
But,
yes.
some people, at least most people that I know that use the app are in it for, committed relationships or just fun dates. Maybe I just have the wrong friends or hang out with the wrong people, but that's mostly what I've observed.
Right. Certainly, Em and I talked about, he kind of mentioned how he feels like Tinder is almost like we're just, like, we don't view these people as people. Like, they're just kind of an object. We just, like, swipe left if they're hot, or swipe left if they're not, swipe right if they are. What would be your comment back to that, having had such success with it?
That's basically it. And as bad as that sounds, I don't know. I feel like I'm a lot cooler online than I am in person, I guess.
Brad Paisley wrote a song about that.
Yeah, he did. But I don't know. But other than that, I mean, it shouldn't be based off of that, but that's how it starts out as, is looks. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is that's what we've been talking about, is that it is all really about looks. Do you feel like, since we did talk about there's a little bit of a bio that comes with the picture, do you pay much attention to that, or is it just all about the picture?
Okay, so at first, like, if I, like, go through their pictures and I'm, like, iffy, I'll read their bio, and then their bio will determine whether or not I swipe right or left.
Okay, so we're looking a little deeper, doing some research before we
Yes.
make a decision on the swipe. Well, that's very responsible of you, Morgan.
Yeah, I like to think so. So,
Awesome. And so, you said you run into some people you don't necessarily agree with what they're out to get. So what's, just like in your short experience with the app, what's some advice you would give to someone who's maybe looking into getting a Tinder?
I would just say be careful, because you don't want to get yourself into too much trouble. But, I mean, if that's what you're out for, then Tinder's a great place for you. But other than that, it can also be kind of scary, but it's good, too. So.
So if you had a friend come up to you in your similar situation, has had not very many dates, and then come up to you and say, Morgan, should I get Tinder? You say what?
I would say go for it, because you only live once.
Yo. Haven't heard that since like 2014. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Morgan, and sharing your opinion with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome.
That was Morgan Whittier, Snow College student.
Right on. We're going to kick it to break real quick. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion on Tinder, so stay tuned on 88.9 FM, The Cage.
You're listening to The Voice of the People.
And we're back here on 88.9 FM The Cage. Thank you so much for joining us again here in the second half of our show. I'm Surlian.
And I'm Youngblood.
This is The Voice of the People. The weekly show happens from noon to 2 every Wednesday afternoon. We talk about things that are of importance to you very own Snow College students. We play some good music, what you just heard, that was Foreplay/Long Time by the band Boston. Youngblood and I are both fans of classic 80s rock and roll, so you might hear some of that on our show. But today, what are we discussing specifically?
Today we are discussing the phenomenon of Tinder.
Exactly, and we've explained how the app works. In the first bit, we had two guests on, our good friends Natalie and Morgan, who have had varying experiences with Tinder. Natalie was kind of in it just for the funsies,
Yes.
you know, but turned out, you know, she reconnected with someone that she met in real life earlier, so it ended up being a good service for her.
And she was able to rekindle the fire.
Rekindle.
You see what I did there?
Use the Tinder to rekindle the the waking fire of the Hunger Games or whatever.
That's right. Okay.
What's that one called? Starting fire? Catching fire.
Catching
That's what it
fire.
is, yeah.
All right, wasn't sure what you were going for there.
Neither was I.
You're joining us here on the second hour of The Voice of the People. When we left off, Surly M and I were discussing. Well, we had just gotten done with our interview with Morgan. How do you think that went? What do you think about her experiences?
I think that went very well. She kind of admitted that it was an act of desperation, right?
Right.
She explained she was in a fairly destitute place as far as dating goes.
Right.
And I wanted to get into that aspect just a little bit, kind of the dating culture we have, not only in Utah, but our age range.
Right. One thing I do want to mention that she didn't mention is a lot of people tend to be more picky with who they swipe right on. But Morgan informed me the other day that she's been trying to just swipe right on as many people as she can so she can
Really?
meet people.
That's a way to do it. You know, if you're just in it to meet people, that's fine. Just swipe right all you want, bro.
Right.
And I mean, I can't make judgments on that.
Right.
But, what was I saying? Oh, yes. So, do you think it's the fact that we're in Utah or the fact that we're in college that we have such a prevalent dating culture?
We live in a small college town, so I think that has an impact.
Right.
But I also think the pressure of getting married young in Utah, that culture, that stigma, I feel like that has a lot to do with it. I know I even see it in myself sometimes when I'm not dating people. Like I almost feel like a pressure. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, right. You were having like a crisis because you had a birthday recently, and you're like, man, I'm getting older. Time's running out. Remember that?
Yeah, and I'm only 22.
Yeah, you're 22 years old. You're already freaking out that you're not married.
Right.
Which is ridiculous if you think about it, and you realize that. And yeah, I think it's just a combination of the two. The prevalent dating culture we have in Utah, combined with this is typically the age range in which people get married.
Right. I did
19 to 20, 22, whatever.
I would have to double check these stats, but I remember looking at some statistics online and saw that the average age for males in the U.S. to get married was, I think it was 28, and
Okay.
the average age here in Utah was like 25.
Okay.
And same for women. I believe it was 27 for women U.S. and 24 in Utah.
So that's like a 3 or 4 year disparity between the national statistic and the local.
Right.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. It blows my mind that we have 18-year-olds that are getting married, which if that's right for you, then by all means do it. But
yeah, totally. When I was 18,
I wasn't ready.
oh, heck no. I barely understood how to treat a woman right, let alone commit myself to be someone's spouse. You know?
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. To think of the age difference. It's weird. I don't know if it's just no college, but I feel like in a lot of my classes, I feel old.
Really?
Like so many of the students in my classes are 18, 19, which really in reality isn't that much younger than me, but Yeah, it was just funny. The other day I was sitting there and we were asking ages in the class, and I was the oldest. I was the second oldest one there. There was a 25-year-old there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was me and the 25-year-old, and everyone else was under the age of 19.
I think that's just a side effect of Snow College being a junior institution.
Right.
Many people come here straight after high school, right? This is their first experience with college. So obviously they're going to be younger folks.
Right.
Out of curiosity, do you have any like older people, like older adults in any of your classes?
I do, actually. There are a couple. Not very many, but there are a couple.
In one of my classes, there's 2 or 3, I say adults, technically, legally we're adults, but,
Right.
in my eyes, they're much older, probably middle-aged people.
Right.
And so, there is somewhat, of a base there for older people going to college. But you're right. Generally, people, at least at Snow College, are younger, and I think that has to do with their attitude towards dating and marriage, right?
Right.
Would you agree?
Yes.
None of us are very experienced in the field.
No.
Some of us more than others, granted. But that's a discussion in and of itself. Is like, can such a young person reasonably make that decision as far as marriage goes?
I mean, I think it all just comes down to the individual.
Yeah,
But-
certainly.
But like I said, I mean, I can't see myself being 18 trying to make those kinds of decisions. Even 19. But, who am I to say? Well, I mean, some of those people are married and I'm not, so,
Yeah.
But I think it all just comes down to personal preference.
Personal preference, right? And so, how do you think Tinder factors into all this? We've been having this good discussion about dating culture and whatnot.
Right.
How has Tinder shifted that? Because I think a shift has occurred. I think how we look at it through the guise of Tinder is slightly different than it was before.
I mean, we'll look at our 2 previous guests we just had on the show. Neither one of them had a date since beginning of last semester, and now all of a sudden they're Tinder icons out there.
Yeah, they're celebrities.
I think that I think on the positive, it gives more people opportunity who wouldn't otherwise meet people because they're too shy or because they don't work or go to school in an environment where, that's happening a lot, dating.
Okay, here's an interesting counterpoint to the data we brought up earlier.
Okay.
We have such a prevalent culture of dating, it seems like, right?
Right.
But when you're talking to individuals, Morgan has been on like 1 date since
Right.
August. Natalie, pretty much the same situation. If we have such a prevalent dating culture, then
Why
aren't people getting asked out? Why isn't everybody dating everyone all the time?
That's a good question.
I mean,
I
there's a gap here in our logic, in our data. Like, what's happening?
Well, I think technology plays a huge part in it. We hide behind our phones way too often.
You think that's a root cause?
Yeah, and I mean, not just with Tinder, but texting, any kind of social media. I mean, for heaven's sakes, do people even pick up the phone and call each other anymore? Because
I call Brittany fairly often.
I mean, I do. I do my best to call people, but
that's pretty much the only person I ever call, actually.
I mean, it's so we're so trapped in our technology sometimes. I think that has a huge factor in it.
Okay, so you think technology is separating us more than it's connecting us as far as the dating front goes?
Yes. I don't know. What are some of your thoughts on that, Sir William?
Well, like I said, it's interesting. Everybody talks about dating all the time. It's such a hot topic to discuss, and yet nobody's going out on dates.
Maybe a lot of it comes down to fear too. Fear of rejection. We've talked about this before.
Yes, we have. Quite extensively, actually.
Right. We've also, I remember we had a whole episode dedicated last semester to girls asking guys out on dates.
Yes, I remember that. That was in the baby days of Voice of the People. Hardly know what we were doing. Still hardly know what we're doing.
You know, if you have any comments on this, we'd love to hear from you. We love
yes.
listener involvement.
Yes, please.
Please give us a call at 435-283-7007. We also appreciate when you text. You can text KAGE to 66746. We also have a Facebook page. Like us on Facebook. Make your comments, your Tinder experiences, dating experiences, have the effects it's had on you. We'd love to hear that.
You know what we haven't gotten around to?
What
is your experience with Tinder? We've talked to your compatriots. We've talked to Natalie. We've talked to Morgan. How's it been for you?
Tell you what. I'll tell you.
Okay.
After the break.
Oh no! Stay tuned to hear Youngblood's juicy stories about his usage of Tinder. We'll be right back. I'm Shirley M.
And I'm Youngblood.
You're listening to the Voice of the People on 88.9 FM, The Cage. And we're back here on 88.9 FM The Cage. You're listening to the Voice of the People with your hosts, Shirley M.
And Youngblood, right here on 88.9 The Cage.
Right on. For the past hour and a half, we've been talking about Tinder. And I'm just so excited now, because we finally get to talk about Youngblood's experience with Tinder. And you actually haven't talked to me about this personally, so this will be an experience for all of us.
That's right. Left us on a little cliffhanger before the break.
Right on.
And my experience with Tinder. So we started on Sunday night. And
we get a timeline?
Yeah, you want the timeline?
Yeah, okay. So Sunday night, you create the account.
I create the account. And automatically I'm fascinated because of this addiction that I create.
Right.
Like left, right. So there's that. So that you kind of get a joy out of that. But then you realize, like, some of these people are, in my opinion, they're just crazy or weird. Like we talked about, they're just up for a hookup. Like I said, though, I have not had the success that the other two have had. And actually, interesting enough, maybe it's just me and the people I talk to. Like, that could totally just be the reason. But the guys that I've talked to have had the same experience as me.
Really?
But the girls, they're the ones that have gotten double-digit matches.
So, do you think there's more females or males that use Tinder?
I think it's probably about the same, but I'm wondering if the girls are more picky. I've noticed watching Natalie do it that she's very selective about who she swipes right on.
She takes her time, right?
Right. And me and other guys I've talked to, we're like more open to like, oh, she's hot. Oh, she's attractive.
Right.
Just swipe right. Don't think too much about it. But the girls, they like really, just watching Natalie and Morgan do it, they're a lot, well, Morgan's obviously just kind of swiping right all the time. But Natalie...
She's just looking for anything.
Right. Which I think is why she has so many matches, because she swipes right so much.
Right.
And because the guys swipe right so much, right?
Yeah, that's why she has so many hits.
Well, Natalie hardly ever swipes right. And so I think you're seeing that more in the girls. They're a little bit more standoffish, maybe, a little more defensive.
A little more selective, yeah.
So
I think that's just a female attribute, right? Discernment.
Right.
Something males lack.
So that's what I've noticed with the 3 matches that I've gotten.
Have you talked to any of these people?
I have attempted, but have not received a response.
Oh, no. Taco Bell all over again.
It is. It's interesting. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie though. It's pretty dumb. Like, I think I literally think today I'm just gonna delete it
you've given up already.
It's well, I wasn't that interested in the dating part of it anyway. I just wanted to kind of see what it was like, and I thought it'd be good if Morgan. That was we were trying to talk Morgan into doing it anyway. And obviously it's been great for her. But it's just, I'm kind of with you on the whole thing. We view it more as an object. We're just judging people based on looks, which there's so much more to a person than how they look.
Oh, obviously.
So,
with all this talk about Tinder, I'm kind of interested in it just like as a social experiment.
That's honestly like why I've I mean, yes, I told Morgan I'd do it with her, but that's really why I've kept it this whole week, is just because it is so fascinating in that respect.
Well, Brittany would probably beat me up if I got a Tinder, so...
Well, maybe you can help me on mine. Maybe I won't delete it today then. Maybe I'll just...
I'll be you. That would be hilarious. I would get you so many matches. Just like right. Oh, boy.
Maybe I should just start swiping right on everyone.
Seems to be the method if you want to get the most hits.
Yeah. Maybe that's
So-
the thing.
So if Tinder isn't exactly your cup of tea, so what's your strategy going to be? You know, we've talked about how people don't really ask people out, even though we have this culture. How are you going to break that norm and pursue your dating endeavors?
Well, I know I'm kind of old school in this fact, but I really like just, like, especially here at school, we have the opportunity here in classes that we have together at work to meet people, just,
True.
you know, face to face, and you develop a friendship with them, and then it's just easier to ask them out, in my opinion.
Do you think it's weird to date someone you're taking a class with?
No. I mean, honestly, like, you're going to be in this class for a semester, and then are you going to ever remember that class and who was in it? I mean, you'll remember it if
No.
it ends badly with that person, but, I mean, you got to take a risk. So, in my opinion. So, what do you think? You think opposite? Gotta give me a look, like maybe.
I've never dated anyone that has been in the same class as me.
Right.
I know Brittany is an art student. We have completely separate courses. But I can just imagine, you know, like you said, if it does go bad, you know, there's no way to not see that person.
Right.
Unless you're willing to sacrifice your grade in that class and just not show up.
Right.
But you have to show up. And by then, everybody in the class knows, like, ooh, something went down with those two. And then that's just even worse.
But you can't look at it that way when you're, like, you just gotta go for it.
You just gotta go for it, huh?
You need to, I mean, obviously think about it a little bit. Don't just do spare the moment thing. But, you know, develop a friendship with them. Like, it doesn't, even if you don't want to date each other after trying a couple dates, like, it doesn't have to be weird.
Okay.
I mean, there's a girl this semester. In fact, the girl we've been talking about the last couple weeks, the friend zoned me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I work with her. I have classes with her. Like,
Is it weird?
no, not weird
It's
at all.
not weird.
I mean,
Well, I think that says more about you. You know, you can get along with pretty much anybody, and you're good with people. But for me, at least, looking at it, that would be extremely awkward.
okay, right. I mean, I could see it definitely going bad.
Okay,
with
but-
other people. I think I lucked out. That
Yeah, I think you're
she's so
lucky
cool about it.
and you're lucky in that sense that it doesn't bother you. Wow, that's interesting. So you're gonna keep your eyes open in your classes, is what you're saying?
No, I'm kind of to the point now. Like I feel like I've gone on a lot of dates since the year started,
That's true.
and I'm just, you know, when it happens, and when I feel like I want to ask that person out, then I'm going to. But right now, I guess I'm not as seeking as I.
You're on hiatus, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's wise. Take a second to gather your thoughts.
I'm glad that
You
some
know-
college and my listeners know so much about my dating life.
I mean, it's the most interesting thing we talk about on the show. But, you know, you got to be careful, because every time anyone has ever said that, like, I'm done, I'm taking a break, there's some magical little mystery woman that comes into their life and just ruins all their plans.
Well,
Am I wrong?
no.
Well, maybe
you're
it's
wrong.
like, oh, I see what you're doing. It's like a counter psychology here.
No,
You're
no,
saying-
no.
You're saying I'm done
no.
in the hopes
Sterling,
that you're not going to.
That is not true. I am telling you that that I'm gonna let fate take its course. That when things happen, they'll happen. It's all in due time. Everything happens for a reason.
Right. Okay. That's fine.
You know, I'm not trying to get up here and give a sad pity speech that I'm not gonna not dating anymore. I hope people ask me out. No.
And that's not what I'm saying. You know, I think it's a wise decision what you're doing.
Right. So,
If you want to tell Youngblood that it's going to be okay, or if you want to give him your number, you can feel free to call 435-283-7007 or text KAGE to 66746. You can also check us out on Facebook under The Voice of the People. We post the audio of our episodes pretty much weekly on YouTube, so you can check out the links there if you want to revisit some of your favorite Voice of the People moments throughout the semester.
That's right. We have an account now on YouTube.
That's
so
right.
It's a big deal. We just got a text from a listener telling me I just should get rid of Tinder.
Yeah? This person is against Tinder.
Yes.
Rather.
She, now I revealed the gender, but
no.
that's fine. Yeah, just received a text that this person would like me to delete. Well, they think I should delete Tinder.
Well, there you go. There's
So
another public
thoughts.
opinion.
We love listener involvement.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, maybe we should test a little bit this upcoming week.
Okay.
You should like participate with me. I mean, obviously, like,
I mean,
you have a girlfriend, so we're
yeah,
not going to do anything.
I'm
bad.
claimed. I'm out of the game, son.
But just for a social experiment, you should get your hands in there a little bit.
I'm not gonna make a Tinder.
No, you're not gonna make one. You're just gonna keep the one I have, and then we're gonna do it together.
Okay. We're gonna run a joint Tinder account.
Although I feel like my taste is a little bit different than yours. So.
Maybe a little bit, but I have an eye for your type. Don't you worry. We're gonna help each other out here. Well, you're gonna help me out for the sake of science. I'm gonna help you out for the sake of your relationship.
Brittany, if you're opposed to this, we want you to call in right now.
Even if she probably is, but she won't call in. I'm calling it.
That's true. Okay, well, if she likes you bad enough, she will.
Likes me bad enough. Tell you what, when we come back, we'll wrap up the show, give some final thoughts on dating culture and Tinder and how it's affected. We're almost done here on The Voice of the People, so please stay tuned here on 88.9 FM, The Cage.
You're listening to The Voice of the People.
When your legs don't work like they used to before.
We're back here on The Voice of the People on 88.9 FM, The Cage. I'm Surly M.
And I'm Youngblood.
Thank you for joining us on The Voice of the People. We really appreciated your company. What have we discussed?
The last 2 hours, we have discussed the great phenomenon of Tinder and its effects on people.
And what have we concluded from our discussions?
Well, we've concluded that it seems to really work for girls.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that it's pretty shallow, I guess is the word. We just treat these people like objects, these pictures.
Right. That being said, we didn't quite mention this before, but I've heard of incredible success stories and actually marriages resulting in Tinder dates.
One of my best friends from high school met his wife from Tinder.
Really?
Yes.
And so I think with all things, it depends on what your intentions are and how you take, what you're receiving.
Of course.
Right? Would you say Tinder is the place for people looking for just like fun, non-committal dates?
I mean, yes.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people on there that surprisingly they just want a NICMO or a hookup,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you're into that, by all means, go for it. But there are also a lot of people on there that they're actually on there to find someone to date.
You think so? Really?
I mean, according to some of the profiles I've read, this is just in my own experience. So if someone has a different opinion, we'd love to hear that.
Because most of my experience has been like, you did not get a Tinder to find like someone to seriously date.
Okay, that's true.
Neither did Morgan, and neither did Natalie, neither did pretty much anyone I've talked to. It's usually just out of a sense of curiosity, like, what could I possibly, find out there? I also think validation has something to do with it, and self-esteem. It's like you put your picture out there, and it's like, how many people can I get to think I'm attractive, right? It's greedy and it's selfish, and it's an attempt to boost our ego, but you know, that's kind of who we are.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, okay, well, those people who are just in it to boost ego, what if it goes south? What if you're like me and you get like 3 matches?
Well,
You better have a
then
strong
your
ego.
self-esteem is ruined.
No,
I don't
in
mean
my
Tinder to
opinion,
do that.
I mean, in my opinion, you can't let a dating app define your self-esteem.
Oh no, but that's the point I'm trying to make, is that for some people, how other people view them is how they judge themselves.
That's true. That's very true. And I'm sure there are a lot of people who feel like, you know, because they have low matches or because their Tinder experience hasn't been great, that they are not attractive or good enough for someone. But that's not true. Like Sir Liam said, I think a lot of people are. I agree with you now. You know, a lot of people are just on there just out of pure curiosity.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make a little PSA here real quick. You know what, listeners? You are beautiful, you are smart, and you are worth it. Okay? That right person is gonna come along and it's gonna be magical. You don't need anyone to judge you. That's all.
You know, there's a somebody for everybody out there.
Really?
No, you never know.
Well, I guess that's true. Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
is
there's
true.
people
I was
that
talking,
we're mutual friends with that I'm shocked that they're married.
Yeah, I was talking to Brittany the other day, and you know what I've noticed, especially in Utah. This relates back to our discussion in on Utah marriage or Utah culture of dating and marriage. Have you noticed how most of the time, not all the time, a lot of the time, in marriages, girls, at least in Utah, the females, are much more attractive than the males they marry. Like, proportionally, she is way more hot than he is handsome. Does that make sense?
Like the married couples?
Yes.
Yes.
Why is that? That just baffles me. Like, you have, I mean, Utah girls, they have good genes, you know, pioneer stock. You got the European heritage. You have some blue haired, some not blue hair, blue eyes,
Okay,
blonde
that makes more
haired.
sense.
You know, Utah girls are pretty attractive for the most part, and they can, you know, pretty much get whoever they want. But
Right.
I see them settling. I don't want to say settling, but getting with,
You know, maybe they're not settling in their mind.
maybe, but they're getting with these people who are not as attractive as they are. It's like the proportions are off. The math doesn't make sense in my head.
Well, again, I think it comes back to more than looks. I mean, yes, that's the first thing that attracts you to someone, but
yeah, sure.
okay, when you're married to someone, like, yeah, okay, so obviously you need to be attracted to them, but I personally don't believe that is the most important thing.
Oh, yeah, neither do I. I
So-
don't know, but you want to be attracted to
Well,
who you
yes,
marry.
but maybe they are attracted to them. Maybe their taste is different.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe every Utah girl is into ugly guys. I don't know.
Well, maybe.
I hope not, because that was
For
what
you
say
to say
about
they're
us.
ugly. Yeah, okay, yeah, because then we're really ugly.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere.
It's like, oof, darn.
Real quick, this is really random, but last night, one of my friends came over and we made fried pickles.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, they were to die for.
they were good.
And
Yes,
I
yeah,
told my
I saw
friend
that.
I'd give her a shout out on the radio. So Kayla, you make some dang good fried pickles.
There you go, Kayla.
And she's
Fried
single.
pickles.
So if anyone out there likes fried pickles,
If you like fried pickles and girls named Kayla, you know
she's
what?
open.
There you go. Well, this has been a fruitful discussion.
That
I
has
think.
been.
Awesome. Well, that's pretty much all the time we have here on the Voice of the People. Not to worry, we're going to have a DJ on right after us. He'll keep you company. He'll play some good tunes for you. As always, if you want to make a request, you can call 435-283-7007 or text KAGE to 66746. Just let us know what you want to hear. What were you going to say?
Sir Liam, before we take off, what did you learn?
I learned that that Tinder is good for the sake of science. For the sake of understanding human behavior.
Okay,
I think
good.
that's its sole purpose.
All right.
What'd you learn?
I learned that not all hope is lost because Tinder is out there. You can
Oh
like
my
Morgan
gosh.
and get 60 matches.
You could be. Could be. Wow. I'm Sir Liam.
And I'm Youngblood.
Thank you so much for joining us. You take it easy, Ephraim. You're listening to 88.9 FM, The Cage.
You're listening to the voice of the people.